The Ripple versus SEC lawsuit is not being held up by Judge Torres. It's not being delayed by the SEC either. According to former SEC lawyer Marc Fagel, nobody is holding up the case. He says the lawsuit is progressing just as expected, and the delay people are talking about is simply the result of standard legal procedures. That might surprise a lot of XRP holders who've been wondering why things are taking so long. So let's break down what's actually happening in this case, and why it might not be as stalled as it seems. Let's begin with the background. The lawsuit between Ripple and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has been going on since December 2020. It's one of the most closely followed legal battles in the crypto world, mainly because its outcome could influence how digital assets are regulated in the U.S. Recently, things seem to quiet down. Some in the XRP community have been asking, why hasn't the case been officially closed? What's the holdup? On social media platform X, formerly Twitter, one user suggested that Judge Torres might be the one delaying the process. They claimed the judge's procedural requirements were creating a bottleneck and that the court was taking too long to process the joint motion to dismiss. But that idea was directly challenged by Marc Fagel, a former SEC regional director and securities law expert. In his reply, Fagel said, "Nobody is holding up the case. Not the judge, there is nothing for her to decide. Not the SEC, which has a standard procedure to follow and will dismiss the appeal once the vote is taken, a process that typically takes 1 to 2 months. That's a pretty strong clarification. According to him, the current phase of the case is not even in the judge's hands anymore. There are no pending motions, no unresolved hearings. It's just a matter of formal dismissal steps being followed by both Ripple and the SEC. So what exactly are these formal steps? Fagel explained that once both parties agree to dismiss their appeals, which is expected, there's a standard timeline of 1 to 2 months for the internal approval and paperwork to go through. It's not something the court controls, and it's not something the SEC can rush, either. It's just the nature of federal legal processes. He added that. So there is nothing pending before the judge. It's now in the hands of the parties to simply dismiss their appeals, which they will do shortly. This is a useful reminder that even though the courtroom drama might feel over, legal cases don't end with a single ruling. They go through several administrative phases before they're officially closed. This includes filing dismissals, getting internal votes approved, and confirming everything with the court records. Now, if you're holding XRP or watching the market, the natural question is, does this delay matter for price or regulation? In the short term, probably not. The market tends to react to big rulings, not paperwork. And since the most important decisions have already been made, including Judge Torres' ruling that XRP is not a security in programmatic sales, the legal risk has already decreased. But in the long term, final closure of this case will be an important signal. It will allow Ripple to move forward without ongoing legal uncertainty. It could also set a clearer precedent for how other crypto projects approach compliance in the U.S. Still, the idea that someone is purposely delaying things isn't supported by the current facts. If anything, the process is just moving at the pace expected in federal legal systems. So, if you've been wondering what's happening in the Ripple versus SEC case, the answer is nothing dramatic. No secret delays, no hidden decisions, just the slow machinery of legal procedures working through the final steps. As Marc Fagel said clearly, nobody is holding up the case. It's now up to Ripple and the SEC to file the final dismissal documents. And once they do, we could finally close the chapter on one of the most significant legal battles in crypto history. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis helpful, feel free to subscribe for more calm and clear updates on the crypto space. Without hype, just facts.